Hi everyone, in today's video we're gonna be talking about how to work an application. So we'll manually review a web application using the browser's tools. So why do we do that? It's automated security tools, often than not, and scripts also will miss many potential vulnerabilities and useful information. So what are the tools that we are going to use is the inbuilt browser tools that anyone can use. It's the view source. So we use the browser to view the human readable source code of a website. We get the inspector tool and learn how to inspect page elements and make changes to view usually blocked content. Then there is the debugger tool, which inspect and control the flow of a page JavaScript. You remember we talked about JavaScript in a previous video. And then the network tool, which in there we can see all the network requests a page makes. So when exploring the website as a penetration tester, our role is to review a website or web application, and the reason is to discover features that could potentially be vulnerable and attempt to exploit them to assess whether or not they are. And these features are usually parts of the website that require some interactivity with the user. So when we do that, we take note of what was found. So finding those interactive portions of the website can be as easy as putting a login form to manually review the website. The website's JavaScript, an excellent place to start is just we go with the browser and start exploring the website and noting down the individual pages, areas, features with a summary of each one. So let's do that. So here we are on the web page. So the first thing that we see is the home page. It contains a summary of what this Acme IT support does, with a company photo of their staff. Then what we can see is there is the news. So as you can see, the link is there. So news. So we would open whatever we want, let's just use any text editor and take note of what we found. So there's this one, so the website, which is just the home page. What else can we find directly here? There is the news. Contact. And customers. We don't stop here. We'll go into each one of these. So in the news, what we can see is a bunch of articles. There are 3 here. So news articles. Let's put them here. So as we can see, it starts with news and then article, ID equal 1. There are more than this. There is the second one and a third one. So it displays individual news article, and if we go with this one, so this one, it's blocked. It seems to be blocked or reserved for premium customers. That's what it says. And then here we get contact. So contact, we already had it. So let's search for something else. So the contact page, when you go to the contact page, there's this page where this page contains a form for customers to contact the company, where we can put the name, the email, and a message. And so there are input fields, and then we have a send button. Okay, just trying. Then there's the customer. So in the customer there are like also a sign up. So here we have sign up. That is like, wait a second, customers. Customers sign up. So this, let's open it into another tab. And then there's also the reset password, which we can see the link is customers is set. We'll just go here. And we have the customers login, as we can see here. I forgot to put it. Let's go here. Customers login. So here, let's just put whatever email address, something like whatever. Yes. Password. Let's just do this and confirm password. So hopefully it won't ask for better password. So here we have. So when we go to customers, this right here, this page, we get a dashboard. So customer dashboard, which contains support tickets, your account, current username if you want to update the username, and the logout. Let's get back into new. So tickets, so customer tickets here. Which is somewhere where we can create support tickets. Here we have, so we can, there is ticket subject, ticket contains, and create the ticket, and let's close it for now. In the account, so we have customers account, which this page allows us to edit our username, email, and password. And then there's the logout, so customers logout for the user to log out from the customer area. So once this is done, we have a general idea of the links that exist there. We will try to view the page source. So the page source is the code returned to the browser from the web server when we make a request. So the returned code is made up of HTML, which is hypertext markup language, CSS for cascading style sheets, and JavaScript. And it's what tells our browser what content to display, how to show it, and adds an element of interactivity with JavaScript. So viewing the page source can help us discover more information about the web application. So how to view the page source? It's normally you just right click on the page and see the option view page source. Like here you can see view page source. and it will open the page source like this. And most browsers now also support putting in front of the URL this view source before. So now let's try to look at the page source. So first let's go back to our home page and let's view the page source for this home page. What can we view here? First is this here and this. So these two things is how we put a comment. So what can we find from just the comments? We find that this page is temporary while we work on the new home page. So there is a new thing that we didn't know before. So let's add it here. New home beta. What else can we find? Let's go over in the second, like in the other comment, what do we find is page generated in how many seconds using the THM framework and a link. Let's copy it. So also what we can see is if we go look at this, so links to different places are in this type of tag, an A tag. And the link is behind an href something, an href attribute. So what else can we find here? If we look at these, so the images, we have source assets staff.png, then the scripts are also in assets / something. And yeah, so one of the things that we see here is there is probably, so there is the assets where we can find files like CSS here, images, and JavaScript. So let's put this here, and then we'll try and look at those new links that we found after. What else can we find here? Oh, there's something interesting here. Welcome message. Our dedicated staff are ready. And then there is a link that we didn't find before. So let's copy it and put it with the rest. So just from the comments, we found all these links. So these links in the real world can take you to private part or private areas used by the business for storing company, staff, customer information. So let's look at all these new links that we found. So let's go with secret page. So there's the secret page that we just found. Let's go over all the links. There's this one, so new beta home. Let's get there. Ooh, yeah, HTML comments are dangerous. What else? What are the other links that we found? So new beta home, and then there is also assets. So let's go here. So as you can see here, we have a view of the directory, which normally if configured well, like the directory listing, if it's configured well, we shouldn't be able to see that, or what should be displayed is either a blank page or a 403 forbidden page that we saw in one of the previous videos. And here we have flag.txt, which you can open it by yourself and find the flag. And then the last one that we saw, so you know that many websites nowadays aren't made from scratch and use a framework. And the framework is a collection of pre-made code that easily allows the developer to include common features easily, such as blogs, form processing, and etc. So knowing the framework and the version can be powerful, as they may be public vulnerabilities in the framework. So this is the framework that is used here. We can open it there. So here we can see a bit of what's there here. So the home, that's where we are. The changelog. We can read what's new. So we've had an issue where our backup process was created and file in the web directory called tmp.zip, which potentially could have been read by website visitors. This file is now stored in an area that is unreadable by the public. So if you go back to the page source, here what it says is this website was generated by Tryhackme framework version 1.2, while this thing was changed in version 1.3. So it still exists in the 1.2. So we could easily do this. And have the zip file. So let's just open the zip file and see where, and that's where the last flag for this task is. But let's continue looking at these things. We can also have like documentation. When we look at the documentation, we have other information, but we'll let this for just a bit later. So now let's go and take a look at the developer tools that comes with browsers. So every modern browser includes developer tools. So it's a toolkit used to aid web developers to debugging web applications, and also helps have a look at what is going on in the website. As a pen tester, we can use these tools to provide us a better understanding of the web application. And in this video, we're gonna focus on 3 features of the developer toolkit: the inspector, the debugger, and the network. Let's go see what the inspector can do. So Element Inspector tool shows us what the HTML on the page looks like at runtime. And this is because we have CSS. So it allows us to instantly modify the HTML and CSS and see the results reflected in the browser. Let's continue exploring the website and see what we can find. So remember when we went to the news, we saw that one of the articles was only for premium customers. So let's try and inspect. So we go onto this part that is blocking us from viewing the article, and we inspect it. So to open the developer toolkit, on the inspector, on the inspector tab. So here we have the inspector. It's on this element, as you can see. When I'm here, you have that element. And then we have here the display for this one. So instead of, we have block. So instead of putting display block, let's try and put none. And here, it disappeared. So the whole block disappeared, and we finally have access to the article. So the other tool that we are going to use is the debugger one. The debugger is intended for debugging JavaScript, and it allows us to watch the value of variables, JavaScript variables, and set breakpoints. So that is how it's used. But as pen testers, it lets us dig deep into the JavaScript code, and you have to know that the name for it is different from browser to browser. So in Firefox and Safari, it's called debugger, but in Chrome, it's called sources. So let's see how it works. We go back onto this, and so the debugger would be this tab. Let's go to the contact page. So in the contact page, we have, so as you can see when we go on the contact page, I don't know if you were able to see it, but there was a flash, like a red flash that we can see. So that is for sure some of our JavaScript. So if you go on the debugger, so it's the tab debugger here, and we go into the different JavaScripts that are used, then we have like Bootstrap, that probably, because it's a flash, let's just say it's probably this. So as you can see here, it's a big line that doesn't end. That's really difficult to read. So there is this thing, just pretty print source, that we can use that will let us examine the code in a bit better way. So let's see what we can find here. So it's still obfuscated, but however, if you see here, there is a set timeout function, and then there is this flash remove. So probably, let's try and put a breakpoint. So to put a breakpoint, you just have to click on the line. So let's put a breakpoint here, so it will stop the execution of the JavaScript code just before that line, so we can see what's happening. So let's refresh it. So when we refresh it, what can we see? It's paused just before, and we can finally see the flag. And then, as you can see, because it's paused on the breakpoint, we can continue until the next breakpoint. Or here, there isn't another breakpoint, just put one. The next developer tools we'll talk about is network. So it's the last tool we'll see here, and the network tab can be used to keep track of every external request the website makes. So let's try on the contact page. Let's open the network tab. Okay. I'm just going to start with the blank network tab. There we go. Let's put anything here. And send the message. Here we go. So what we can see is that the message was sent. So in a post, with the post method. So there is the headers, as you can see. And in the headers, okay, let's open this a bit bigger. We can see different information, like response headers. So there is this. We can go look at cookies. So cookies, if you see here, so let's just put this information somewhere for the next tasks in later videos. So what we can find is in the headers from after sending a message in the contact page, we get in the response headers, so connections, keep alive, content type, application /JSON, the date, the type of server, so it's an engine Nginx server, web server 1.18, and then X flag, so it's a flag, but you won't be using it for this particular room, but you'll be using it in a future room. And if you go to the cookies, we have request cookies, admin, false. So don't fret about it, but write it somewhere. So in the request, the information that I sent, I said my name was Binza, the email that I put, and the message. And in the response, we have message received and THM, the flag that we need now. So this, in fact, when we send the message, there is an event in the network tab that is the form being submitted. And instead of, so let's do it again. What we see, so as you can see, it didn't change web page. It's just put something on top of it saying contact form sent. So how it does that, it's by using a method called Ajax. So, or Ajax, or whatever, pronounce it however you want. So Ajax is a method for sending and receiving network data in a web application background without interfering by changing the current web page. So you don't change, the current web page is still there, as you can see. That was it for today. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and have a good day. Bye!